Okay, so let's get started. So thank you everybody for joining the Big Switch this week, for taking part. Thank you so much. We've seen some amazing action already this week, and engagement as well. So thank you for joining the session, and also thank you so much for your contributions. The 30-minute session today, we are going to cover why we need to make the switch, areas that we can look at, different areas in our own lives where we can look at. We're going to take some action today on the call, so we're going to take a little bit of action, and also we're going to share that sneaky peek at that leaderboard as well. The first thing I wanted to start with though first was just a quick look at your major achievements that we've done in the race this week. So we can now see that we've got 253 members, so that's up. We've had 47 new members join just in the last week, and we've now taken a whopping 3,925 step activities, and we've completed an average of 5 steps per person. So massive well done to you all. And I'll now just quickly hand over to Emily, who's going to reveal our social winners for this week.
Yes, so our winner for last week for posting on social, which was picked at random, is Helen Tandy from Castlefield. So congratulations, Helen. I'll be in contact with you about your trees. The competition will run for this week as well. So keep posting on social. It's great to see so much activity from everybody, from your company posts and your personal posts. It's been brilliant. And I will pick another winner at random for up until Sunday. So keep posting.
Thank you, Emily. And we just wanted to start the Big Switch conversation with us just dropping into the chat what your favourite animal is. So I'm sure everyone's got a favourite animal, or one that they gravitate to a bit more. Faye, Emily, what are your favourites?
My favourite is the elephant. A really hard decision because, yeah, I love all animals, but yeah, I think they're super intelligent, huge, but sort of come across very gentle as well. So that's my favourite. What about you, Emily?
I feel like it really should be tiger, given how I'm dressed today.
Good answer.
Oh, that's great. And yeah, I can't actually see the chat, so I don't know if we've got them coming through. But it's the reason that we ask this question is because it's quite often nature and animals that remind us why the natural world is so valuable and worth protecting. I know my own niece likes to imagine a polar bear giving her a high five every time she switches the lights off in the house, which does help to motivate her in terms of saving a bit of energy. And it's also all right to ask the question, what's in it for me? So not just what's in it for my favorite animal, how can I protect them? Also, you know, what's in it for me? It's a really great question because it helps to keep us motivated when we are making changes in our lives. So we do need to cut carbon, but when we do, we're often also saving money. So, for example, 50% of the steps that are in Geeky, 50% and over, I think, actually save money as well as cutting carbon. So they're great ones to have a look at as well. And you know, we can save money when we buy less, or we buy secondhand, for example. Protecting nature is another benefit, which we've already spoken about. You know, we can do that when we use less chemicals in our cleaning products, for example, which I know there's been a lot of chat about this week. And when we choose to kind of travel more actively, so get out the car and walk to places, obviously we're saving carbon, we're reducing air pollution, but also, you know, we're improving our health as well by taking those steps and not just getting in the car. And as you know, as we make different switches and changes, you know, things like turning down our heating, for example, we can make that instant impact as well. So you know, you can get as soon as you turn down that heating, you're saving money, and you're also saving carbon in terms of the energy that you're using. So brilliant to have a look at what is it that you think motivates you to do different things, and then that really helps us to keep on track when we make those switches. Also need to make the switches as we need to halve emissions by 2030 to stop climate change spiraling out of control. Unfortunately, emissions are still increasing. So we need to reduce them by 50% by 2030. And we need to do everything that we can as quickly as possible. And that goes for organisations, people and policies. But as people, we do have a really important role to play. So with 70% of emissions coming from people as the end users of a lot of products and services, global scientists who advise the government through the UN's IPCC suggest that half or more of emission cuts needed can be achieved by changing demand, which comes from lifestyle and behaviour change, which is us guys. So we can definitely have the power to make change. I know quite often it can feel like we don't, and what we're doing is making no difference, but we do have the power to make those changes. And here's just a snapshot of the average carbon footprint in wealthy nations. So typically in a wealthy nation, it's around 10 tonnes. In the UK, for example, it's 9 tonnes, and Europe mainly, and in kind of Australia, it's higher due to their coal that they use there. In Geeky, you can have a look and understand every part of your lifestyle. So your home, so how you heat your home and how you power your home, and waste from your home. Food covers food, drink, and waste as well, food waste, and also what you feed your pets. Transport, that mainly covers cars and flying, but also would cover all your public transport as well, but that's a much lower emissions. And then purchases, think everything from clothes to electrical items and appliances in the home, furniture. And then services, everything from where you invest your money, so your bank accounts, your pensions, to mobile phones, etc., mobile phone contracts. And once you've inputted your data and had a look at your footprint, you can it's a really great starting point for how you can make change, because we are all completely different, and all of our carbon footprints will look different as well. So just because somebody else is doing something to improve, to make a positive impact on the planet, doesn't mean that that's the same thing that you can do. Sometimes we can't do things, so let's concentrate on the things that we can do and the differences and the switches that we can make, because there should always be something that we can do. So I will now hand over to Faye to tell us a little bit more, give some ideas on different areas that we can look at and switches that we can make.
Thanks, Helen. Yes, so we're first off going to look into those switches that we can all make at home. And as you can see from this map on the next slide, energy has been going up and up around the world over the years. I don't know if it's showing, Helen. Oh yes, there we are. And as you can see, it's doubled and then it's doubled again. And more people are using more energy, which has many benefits. However, it is where the energy is coming from that's driving the climate crisis. Because 80% of all energy still comes from fossil fuels. So we wanted to highlight some of the switches that you can make this week that can really help reduce the amount of energy that you use. So here are some steps you may like to try this week, which will help you save energy at home, but also some of these steps will help you save money too. So the first one, surprisingly to some, microwaves are a very efficient way of heating food that reduce carbon emissions and hopefully will save you some time as well. So maybe this week you could try something, cooking something new in the microwave. And do feel free to share any microwave recipes that you have with other race goers by adding them in the chat or dropping them in the WhatsApp group. I'm sure we'd all love to hear them. Another step you could try this week, for those of you that are in warmer climates, you could try using less air conditioning by having a higher but comfortable temperature in your home. Or for those of you that are considering putting the heating on this evening, you could maybe make a change and turn your thermostat down by 1 or 2 degrees. If you do this throughout the winter, you could really help to reduce your carbon footprint. And then a new step alert here, you could try switching to low energy light bulbs. So take a look around your home and count how many light bulbs could be switched to energy efficient alternatives like LEDs. By switching to energy efficient bulbs can significantly reduce electricity consumption, as LED bulbs use 75% less energy than traditional bulbs and last much longer as well, which obviously helps with waste. So there are some steps that you can take at home this week. But we're now going to look at switches that you can make when you shop, whether that's online or in the shops. But before we go into that, we just wanted to ask you what your favourite chocolate bar is. So Tony Chocolonis is a big favourite at Geeky. Personally, I love the caramel biscuit one. So we'd love to hear what your favourite chocolate bar is. Helen, do you have a favourite chocolate bar?
Mine's Tony's as well, but it's
Is
the dark
it?
chocolate and almond for me.
Oh, nice. Okay, I'm not sure I've tasted that one.
Well, I'm
And what
struggling to
about?
find it nowadays, but yeah, it's
Oh,
definitely my favourite.
yeah. What about you, Emily?
Yeah, so many dark chocolate for me.
Ah, nice. Well, yeah, we'd love to hear what your favourite ones are. So do drop them in the chat. So yes, we'll now go on to some supermarket choices, which follows on from any chocolate bar that you can buy. So, for example, if you are looking to buy a chocolate bar next time you're in the supermarket, you could maybe opt for a fair trade chocolate bar, or one that doesn't have any palm oil in it. Fair trade means that the workers will get a fair price for what they grow, and also fair trade farmers are trained to look after the local environment. And then buying items that are free of palm oil is another significant swap that you can make, as palm oil is one of the biggest contributors to deforestation in the world. So animals like orangutan are at threat of extinction because of the growth of unsustainable palm oil. And it is in so many different items. You'll probably be really surprised if you haven't noticed already but palm oil's in lots of chocolates, biscuits, lots of cooking products and beauty items as well. So next time you're in the supermarket, do look out for some of these labels, which we've listed a few of them on the next slide, just to help you identify those items that are more sustainable than others. And we appreciate it's really difficult to make swaps and switch all of your regular items. So just choose one or two this week or next week, and maybe choose an alternative item. Another great switch that you can make, which can have a huge difference to the environment, is switching from new to second-hand. And recently, the second-hand markets really had a resurgence, which is great, because buying second-hand outfit or items will have a very different footprint to buying a new piece of clothing. So we just wanted to share this comparison with you. So if you bought 2 new t-shirts, a pair of shorts and a pair of shoes, all new, this would use about 30 kilos of carbon, and also take about 10,000 litres of water to produce, which is the same as a small swimming pool, which is staggering. But buying these items secondhand would use much less carbon and water, and it may make you, feel better too that you've got it secondhand. So there are so many ways to buy secondhand clothes now, and we'd love to hear what your favourite way is. I really love Vinted. Usually you can find exactly sort of what you're looking for a fraction of the cost, but I know lots of people love rummaging around vintage shops or charity shops. So yeah, do let us know if there are any ways that you like to buy secondhand. Helen, are you a fan of Vinted, or do you use any other websites?
Love Vinted.
Yeah.
A little bit obsessed, if I'm honest.
Yeah, you can get so much on there, can't you? So Great. So we just wanted to share some planet-friendly shopping steps you might want to try this week. So secondhand is obviously a great one to start with, but you could also make a sustainable switch in your beauty or personal care routine. You could look out for products like shampoo bars or recyclable toothpaste tubes. I know a few people have mentioned that on the WhatsApp group, which is fantastic. And there's some really great companies out there now that have fantastic alternatives. So you could look out for certifications like EcoCert or the Leaping Bunny, which certifies that these products meet strict environmental but ethical standards too. Another step you could try is consider having your milk delivered in glass bottles. In 1995, 45% of milk was delivered to our doorsteps, but now it is only 3%. So that could be a switch that you consider taking this week. Or you could try making a sustainable switch with your paper product choices. So you could consider switching toilet paper, wet wipes, kitchen roll, and this switch will significantly reduce the environmental impact by conserving forests, minimise plastic waste, and will support recycling efforts as well. Who Gives a Crap is a great brand to consider if you want to switch to a more sustainable toilet roll. Not only will it help the environment, but the toilet rolls are wrapped in sort of really bright and funky patterns, so they'll look great in your bathroom as well. So I will now hand back to Helen to talk about some of the big switches you may want to consider this week.
Thanks, Faye. Yes, so the big switches, we call these our planet saving steps because they can have a really big impact on our carbon footprints. So we picked three things that you could look at in terms of big switches that you can make. So one is switching to green electricity. So renewable energy uses nature to generate power rather than burning fossil fuels. So you can cut your electricity carbon footprint by over 90%, just your electricity carbon footprint, not your whole footprint, if you use renewable electricity. So if it's 100% renewable electricity, you can reduce your energy footprint by 90%. So yeah, it's a really, really big saving to make. So kind of tips there is just research different providers that you can that will supply your electricity in your area. Find the right deal for your situation, and then when the time's right, you know, when the pricing's right, or when it's right for you to switch, when you've rolled off your last one, whenever it is, you know, make that switch. So get yourself ready, do your research, and then when the time's right, give that a switch. The second one is around our pension. So when our money invests in fossil fuel companies, we're providing them with money to find, extract, and to sell fossil fuels. So by switching your pension away from oil, gas, and coal companies, you're not only reducing the harm that they can do, but also potentially aligning your pension with your values as well. So if you're not ready to divest all of your pension into a fossil fuel free pension, then maybe just ask your pension provider how much they are investing in oil, gas, and coal. It's sometimes referred to as the energy sector as well, so look out for that. And then, you know, ask them what options they've got for switching to lower fossil fuels options. So that could be, things that they focus on in the environment or ESG. So, really good to just ask your pension provider, have they got a net zero strategy as well? And a company called Make Your Money Matters, if you Google them, then they can also help you to kind of write letters to your pension provider, etc. If you've got a company pension, then you can speak to your HR department about what your options are as well. And if there aren't any options, maybe get them to come up with some. And then the third option is switching to a plant-based diet. So this, as your food footprint is typically around 25% of your carbon footprint. So switching to a plant-based diet is one of the largest steps that you can do to reduce your carbon footprint. However, if you typically eat, you know, a diet with meat and dairy in it, then it can also feel like quite a big switch to make in terms of your lifestyle. So if you did switch, it would reduce your food footprint by around 50% to go from kind of eating meat and dairy regularly down to a plant-based diet. However, there's so much that you can do in between. So you know, anything that you can make, any switches towards a plant-based diet that you can make will have an impact on your food footprint and on the environment. So anything that you can do, think what's right for you. There's lots of steps in Geeky around having you know, a vegetarian lunch every day for a week, or having veggie meals and cooking one for a friend, and vegan meals as well. So depending where you are in your diet already, there should be lots to get you more towards a plant-based diet if that's your aim. And yeah, just cooking one for a friend is a really good idea. Even if you're not, you know, fully plant-based, don't tell them it's fully plant-based, and yeah, and cooking one and then getting their reaction is always a good one. Okay, so let's take some action. So we have now got, I think, around 60 seconds where it would be great if you could have a look in the chat at the links that we've put in there. Have a look at your homepage where you'll see all of the big switch steps for this week, or go to Find Steps and find something that's relevant to you as well. And there's lots that we wanted to put in here as well about, there's lots of bathroom switches, bathroom product switches, and lots of cleaning product switches that we wanted to put in here as well, but we didn't feel like we had time to cover it all. But there's lots in there, and I know you guys on the WhatsApp chat have been talking a lot and given people a lot of recommendations on that. So thank you so much for that. Yeah, and so if you haven't got time now to take a step, then please make sure that you take another step this week. You know, it will help you get up that leaderboard, but also anything that we can do really does make a difference. As I said before, you know, sometimes it doesn't feel like we're making that much of a difference, but when we're doing it together in a race like this, it really, really does, as you can see from some of those stats. It really leads to meaningful change. So we wanted to now share with you an update on the leaderboard. So I will share with you the top 10, but we will blank out the podium for now so I can do the big reveal. And in terms of the top 10, we do have some new joiners to the top 10. So I wanted to welcome Bartek, Max Adventure and IOP Publishing. So they're all new into our top 10 of the leaderboard. And then in terms of our top 3 podium, Community Energy Plus is new onto the podium, so well done to Community Energy Plus. So you were on the leaderboard last week for the top 10, but you're now in 3rd position, so congratulations. We've also got a new number 2, so Virtual Tour Experts have dropped into 2nd place, and now taking the lead we have got Castlefield with, I've got to say, a very small amount in it between, you know, it's a very, very close second between Castlefield and Virtual Tour Experts. So congratulations to everybody on the leaderboard. It's changed quite a lot week on week, so there's still lots of time for it to change again. But well done to everybody who has taken a step so far to get on there. And then just a reminder that our final session, I know it's gone so quickly, for the Employee Race to Zero will be next week. That will be our closing ceremony where we'll celebrate all of the amazing achievements that we've done. You'll hear from your fellow colleagues, your fellow race goers, maybe your colleagues, but your race goers in terms of the changes and impacts that they've made so far. And hopefully you'll be inspired by hearing some conversations from the winning teams, but also from other people who have just got so much out of the race. And of course, we will reveal our winners as well. So we'll be able to reveal our winning teams on there. So please do join us for that. Sign up with the QR code here, or we'll pop some in the chat. Now, I know that that is our final slide, but we do have a couple of minutes if anyone wanted to ask any questions. You can put your hand up and we will unmute you if you wanted to. So Thank you very much. Stop sharing.
We do have one question, Helen, that's come
Okay,
in
yeah.
from Kathy, who said, can anyone recommend a green electricity company to switch to? There are a few which look good on paper, so it's hard to decide. So yes, if anyone has any advice or experience of that, yeah, it'd be great to share.
Are you, so if you're UK based, I think it's called the Good Energy Company. I know they're 100% renewable. So they're a really good one to have a look at. Do we have a link, Faye, to any energy companies on like a comparison energy company on 100% renewable? Which actually, you know, which question mark they do a really good table of all the different providers in the UK and how renewable they are. So, you know, whether they're 100% renewable or not. So they're a really good one.
Yeah, we can definitely drop something into the WhatsApp on that as well. Kate has said that Octopus is really good, and I know that they do a really good comparison. So it shows you how much energy you're saving at particular times of day and on different tariffs as well. David's also said they've used Good Energy for 10 years, so that's a good sign. And also the Big Clean Switch specialises in this and have been helping you to switch green electricity, says Steph from Ecology. So that's really good advice.
Oh, great, thanks everyone for your...
Oh, and one other question, Helen, Lindsay has said, how can we keep track of the leaderboard?
You can't, because we keep that pretty close to our chest. So we share it on these calls, and we'll share it once more with the team captains. So we'll share it once more with the team captains so that they've got a view of it, and then we will keep it close to our chests till the end of this week, and then we'll share it again on the closing ceremony. So there is no way for you guys to view it. You can view your own leaderboard and have a bit of internal competition. But yeah, in terms of the leaderboard, we just share it on these calls and on the emails that you guys receive.
Brilliant. Yeah, I think that's all of the questions we have, Helen, in the chat.
Great. Well, thank you again, everyone, so much for joining and for all your participation this week and last week in the race. And good luck, everybody, for the rest of this week. Forward to seeing the results. Thank you all.